Quantic. Together we are Ship Guild. And my headphones are broken, Quantic, and it's frustrating here. I'm using hockey tape to keep it together, but it's not really working. So if you see my left ear just pop up and start swinging all over the place, that's what's happening. uh,
I mean, from the angle that you're using it, you cannot tell, so it's fine.
Good. I won't face the camera like I like to try and do sometimes. Like I usually like to go like this and address our awesome audience here, which by the way, thank you guys for showing up today. But I won't do that today. And I'm not ignoring you guys. It's just this headphone. I don't want to distract you. Perfect. So, Quantic, let's just jump right in, man. How was your week? What's been happening for you? How are you feeling about these market vibes right now? Things have changed and things are kind of exciting. What do you think?
Look, I'm very I was very tired, but yesterday I gained some extra energy in the late evening as we saw that massive pump. It's been a crazy week, right? I think a lot of people are jumping into the conclusion that we are back already, which makes no sense to be so excited just for
Yeah.
one pump, which could be a bull trap or whatever. But I do think we we have been we have been through this period of exhaustion, right, with the market, and probably that means that we were near the bottom, or the bottom is in, or the bottom is very close from where we are right now,
Yeah.
which I think is exciting.
I agree, man. I agree. I'm actually just quoting you right now. I'm just sharing the space, which, by the way, to all you guys who are with us, once again, thank you guys so much for taking the time to be here. Would love if you can join me and take 3 seconds and just give this live stream a repost here. Essentially, what we're talking about today is how to crush it as a creator, not in a bear run anymore, but in a bull run. Whether this is the actual bull run or not, the vibes are very similar to that of a bull run, and I think that's what I'm taking away. Um, and the opportunity I want to take advantage of in this there Quantic is the growing as a creator. I feel like both you and I, we've been so busy these days with like putting in the work, building behind the scenes that now when the bull vibes come, so does attention, so does volume of people, so do eyeballs. And this is really what we've been doing all the work for here. So now it is time to double down on the work and just stay active, man. Stay consistent here. So that's kind of my big takeaway for right now is that regardless of the market sentiment, the building never stops. It only grows when the vibes do. So I think this is a very important conversation to be having today.
Yeah, but I do want to highlight that the fact that we're putting this title about the bull market is not just like, a nice title to have. It's just that the dynamic of how the market and attention works on a bull market is obviously completely different from a bear market, right? And
Very
we
much
have
so.
been through the lows and highs, so I just think this is a good opportunity for people to learn more about how to play it out, right? To get the most out of it, assuming there is a bull market that is just starting or is going to happen very soon.
Yeah.
I think actually we can start by showing even our chart, right? We are pumping out of nothing, just because
Seriously.
liquidity arrives and things are good.
100%, 100%. Let me get back to our screen here. And here, yeah, let me pull that up here. I'm actually gonna have to sneeze here in a quick second, so I apologize in advance. Pump.fun here. So for anyone who is not familiar, we actually are at Ship Guild. We do have a token that we have created, and it's called Ship, SHIP, and I will pull that up right now. And why don't you, while I'm pulling this up here, Quantic, just kind of let our audience know what the purpose is of our token here, and maybe you can quickly chat on our our app for a second.
Yeah, so right now we have been keeping this very light in the sense we didn't want it to be perceived as, this project that has this token and like the classic crypto bullshit, right? That it's
Yeah,
everything around the token. However, we do want to highlight that in order for us to provide the value that we bring, we needed to have some sort of economic link, right? And here's
yeah,
where the token actually comes into play. We started this because of this Pump Fund hackathon, which was a complete scam. So thank you,
yeah,
Pump, for that scam. But we are not the kind of people that are just going to walk away, right? We continue
a
to
hundred
build, and
percent.
that's how actually we transitioned from Web3 Matters to ShipGuile. And look at that chart. That chart is telling a story, which is we are not big, right? That's the first thing. We struggle, right? You can
Yeah,
see how we launch and we had this classic like pump and dump, but then we recover and we are in
yes,
this trajectory, and I'm 100% convinced that we are going much higher from where we are now, mostly because we are bringing back the value of the token with everything we do. That's kind of the philosophy. I think it's pretty clear now for any crypto asset that the meta is generating some real revenue and linking that to the token. So I think that's pretty clear our trajectory. And what do we do that provides value is everything related to using AI in the age of the creator economy and using crypto these days. And hopefully the token pumps a little bit more so we can find you some better earphone strap.
yeah,
But
yeah.
in the meantime, we just have to keep pushing.
Exactly. So, problem solved. I just took it right off because that was on the brink of sending me to insanity here. So, problem solved. I can only deal with one technical difficulty a day, Quantic, and that would put me over the threshold here. But yeah, no, exactly. I'm so proud of the work that our community has done, that we have done for our ship token, and then for our app as well, which is of course at theshipguild.com, and that puts the token directly to use here. And I think the one thing I just want to give our community a massive shout out for is, I believe it was last week, we did an airdrop to all of the holders of our token and people who have been actually participating on our Ship Guild app in the rewards points program here. And normally after airdrops, you see a massive dump of the chart because people use airdrops as opportunity to dump tokens and then cash in for fiat, USDC, whatever. And our chart only went up. So, huge shout out to our community. Thank you guys for having faith in us, having faith in our token, and having faith in the work that they're doing. And just know that we are only going to keep on building and only going to keep on pushing to support you guys and to support our work here. So, absolutely something that needs to be said. And yeah, very, very excited to be exactly where we are at right now. And can you imagine how things are going to change once we enter the bull market with the work that we are doing, especially after
Yeah,
having put zero effort into really marketing what it is that we're building?
yeah, I think yeah, a couple of things are going to happen. So first of all, when attention comes back, you can expect all the inbound that we already have as creators to, pretty much increase, right? So if you're doing right now video editing work, you will get more leads for sure.
Yeah.
If I'm doing some sort of consultation, which I occasionally do, I'll get more people to do that as well. And more people will want perhaps to pay you for posting things, which is something we generally don't do. But for ShipGuide, maybe we can get more people to sponsor this, right? We do
Yeah.
have a nice audience that is quite consistent, quite loyal, perhaps not super big, but they know that we are here every single Friday at 4 p.m. UTC and that we're gonna bring you something in relation to using AI and leverage crypto rails for whatever it is that you're doing in the creator economy. So that's the first thing that you can expect. Second
Yeah.
thing is what to do and what not to do if you are a creator that wants to make the most out of it, right? So first of all, let me cover the builder side because I'm more familiar with it. it becomes a little bit frustrating, right? Because there is a lot of people that have been building throughout the bear market. They survive it. They are using probably some of their own funds to keep things alive, and then the bull comes and some of these funders will get rewarded, right? Some of them will get attention, their tokens, their product will receive the deserved recognition. But for others it's just not going to work like that, mostly because they do not have the marketing in place. And I hope that we are not one of those projects, by the way.
Yeah.
But that I know how that feels, and that kind of sucks because they will see, for instance, let's say, just for the sake of example on this conversation, a sort of copy paste of ShipGal, but these guys are gonna bring some real deep pockets from the first day, and they're gonna steal all the attention, and the token is gonna go parabolic, and we're gonna be like, but yeah, you know what? We were working on this entire time. And unfortunately, bull markets do not reward like hard work just for the sake of hard work. They reward attention, right? So if you're
Hmm.
building something that can bring attention during a bull market, make sure you utilize that. In our case, we are very well positioned because we are doing stuff with AI, which is going to be a hot topic now and forever until the robots take their realm.
100%, man. 100%. Oh, that's until the robots take over. I love it, man. No, that's a really important thing to take into consideration. So let me ask you this here, Quantic, in terms of attention for builders, rather, because like you said, hard work really doesn't factor into the equation nearly as much as it should, in my opinion here. But any tips on how hardworking projects can get the attention that they really deserve?
Well, I would say probably two things. One is to start investing and ramping up your efforts in terms of marketing. Hire the people that knows their shit, start posting more, start using AI to do the automation for you. I'm not saying post AI slop. Please do not do that. Avoid that. That's not gonna work. It's just gonna get worse actually during the bull market. You can expect a lot of low quality projects to come in with whatever narrative and just AI slop.
Yeah,
So avoid that. That's for
yeah,
sure. And you know what? They can actually reach out to us, right? We are gonna be here. Probably we're gonna get a little bit more attention, and we can connect with the right audience, right? Because we are in this game. That's very practical things, right? The other thing is like always, if you're a founder, invest some time to put the word out there. I don't think there are any excuses these days to not
yeah,
like share what you're building. Actually, people kind of expect that. And the rest is talk with people that actually know their shit. Like it's
yeah,
pretty easy if you're on X on a daily basis to actually know who is like just talking and who has the receipts behind what they are talking, the proof of work, right? This is
yeah,
something I'm particularly proud of because we do have that with ChipGal, even though we're not like a super large brand or large project or whatever. We know what we're talking about. We can show all the results. It is
yeah.
data driven. It is organic. So, that's something that um, has to be valuable, right? Oh, by the way, Trav, I'm seeing this being post. I think you should comment on what happened today with our guest.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Happy to mention that here. So, to anyone who's been kind of following us throughout the week, who may have notifications on for the Ship Guild account, thank you for that. We were supposed to have a guest on today, but he unfortunately. Oh, I actually encouraged him to postpone. Let me just say that here. He's has a ton going on IRL, and one of the things that is very important to Quantic and I when we run our live streams is that it's never felt forced. We want our guests to come on to our live streams and for it to be a very positive experience for them, a positive experience for you guys. Like Quantic and I say every single week, these live streams are the best parts of our week. It's honestly our favorite times where we can just hang out, have relaxed, value-driven conversations, and we want that to be the experience for everyone, for you guys, for our guests, and all of that. And unfortunately for our friend Marky today, he has too much on his plate, that that won't be the case. And the last thing we want to do is put any more pressure or stress on anyone who's going to be here to support us and to support you guys. So we are currently working. I'm chatting with Marky behind the scenes, and we're gonna try and reschedule that ASAP. We are looking at potentially next Friday, but I don't want to confirm that until the receipts are in here. So I just want to give a huge shout out to you there, Marky. Sending all the best vibes to you, my friend. I won't share his story. That's not for me to share, but I know he is touching on it slightly on his X account here. But we will. I very much am looking forward to having him on here to join us next week, and we'll just dive right into everything that's going on in his world with growing on X in these crazy market conditions here. So yeah, no, thank you for mentioning that here, Quantic, and I appreciate you guys for your understanding and your patience because I know that's always what you guys provide here. So much love. And one thing I pulled up this because I do just kind of want to show some of the progress that we've been having here. So I know, kind of speaking directly to the topic of conversation, one of like growing organically during the bear or bull market vibes rather here is, as we were talking about this throughout the week on the socials, one of the biggest complaints or pain points rather that I heard from our community is so many people are sick and tired of feeling stuck. No matter what they do, no matter what changes they make, their impressions are stuck at 100, 200, 300 impressions at the very most for their content here. And that was the exact same thing that was happening with our Ship Guild profile here. But now, like I don't know about you there, Quantic, but I really genuinely feel like we have broken through a barrier here. Like we are, like on average, I would say getting around 1,000 views per post now, and it's actually really impressive. So I want to also give a huge shout out to intern. You are absolutely crushing it here, my friend. So yeah, this one here, 1.6K, 370 views. Like some of them are still a little bit low, but even our last live stream, 900 views. I was curious to see how many actual views were on
Oh,
this, and
I hear an
about
echo. Oh my
117 here, which is phenomenal here, especially considering the last couple of weeks weren't the greatest. But there are solutions out there, and it's possible. One thing I do want to mention is I do think we need to change this background again here. I don't know. The more I learn about AI and what AI slop looks like, this is kind of looking a little bit sloppy here. What do you think?
I mean, it makes sense that it looks sloppy because it was made with AI to cover something that we just didn't have, right? Like,
Exactly.
lesson for
Exactly.
any creator and anyone, watching or listening to this right now is that if you want to get a different type of result, an outstanding result, you just cannot do something sloppy with AI and expect something to work. This aligns with the branding, right? And that
Yeah.
solved something that we didn't have properly during a lot of time, and now I can ping our Hermes agent or whatever, and they understand what is the Shipgal branding because of these these logos that we have, these banners. But certainly it's not something that makes us like stand out, right?
Yeah. No, definitely. I think we can do better here. I think we can clean it up as well. Anyways, that's probably if we were going to talk about this on our live stream here, I think that would be better for an actual branding conversation, which actually I would love to have with you at some point. I've been going I went to a couple of actually I want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Greenity on X. He is a part of crap, I don't remember the name here, but him and this company here on X have been putting out these courses. Essentially, you get a private Zoom call chat invite, and they bring on different um, experts, professionals, and they basically run a quick 1 to 2 hour course on different number of topics here. And one that they spoke about last week was branding and design for branding, and it was incredible here. So all that to say, I feel like branding could be a really good topic for us to dive in because I have been diving into that a little bit here, especially from the design side. But yeah, we are getting way off topic now here. I think I need to rein myself
Yeah.
in here. So Here's what I'm thinking there, Quantic. Let's throw out our agenda here for the rest of our conversation. I think it's important to kind of talk about the AI side of things here first, because in order to grow on X the right way, using AI can make it so much. I don't know if easier is the right word, but maybe it is, but more efficient. I think efficiency is the right thing, especially for builders who are trying to, dedicate as much time as they can to build their project, build their work. You want to have as much time free to you to do that. And any time that you really should be spending on X is going to be a lot harder. So I think let's start by talking about the AI side of things, and then I actually made a bit of a report here of 10 tips to break through the impression ceiling here. And maybe we can go through some of the interesting findings that I
Yes,
found
sir. Let's do
from
that.
that.
But I think you should show us because this is something that I consistently see, which is we are talking, you and I, and we're beautiful, that's fine.
It's
But
true.
we do want people that are watching this to focus on kind of the material and the actual thing rather than us, just us.
Yes, that is a great call, man. So I'll just share my screen here and I'm going to pull up my new toy. My new toy is my Claude Cowork agent. Have you used Claude Cowork at all?
Not in the official way.
Okay.
So tell me, how do you use it in the official way?
So, basically, you need to have. So, can you see this right here,
Yeah.
Quantic? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. This thing is stuck there. Like it is burnt to the screen somehow, and I don't know how to get rid of it. It's very annoying. So, I apologize to you guys for that. That's just going to be there with us for the rest of the live stream here.
That's fine.
Um, so, Claude Desktop here. You have a normal chat, or you can have Cowork. The cool thing about Cowork is is it basically turns Claude Desktop into an agent in the manner that it connects a whole bunch of different Google products to it. It connects to the Chrome browser, so its ability to actually access like Chrome browser is much better, especially for research. But then it can also control your browser here as well, which is one of the things I love Hermes for. Now we can do that directly in Claude. But the last cool thing about this is you can also connect your phone to it. So all you need to do is download the Claude app on your phone and essentially just carry on this conversation from your phone, but you're controlling what happens on your desktop, which
Okay, but
is
wait, so you're telling me if I'm not using Coworker, I cannot do this connection to your phone?
so it you I'm just trying to maybe let me clarify this here. So you can still use Claude on your phone, but with Cowork, it basically takes this conversation, like this chat that you're creating from your desktop app and allowing you to just carry it carry it on with your phone here. But any instead of so let's say if you didn't have Cowork, what it would happen was, like let's say you want to do some research. So you pull out your phone, you open up your Claude app, and you do research. It's only just using the local capacity that it has on your phone. If you're using Cowork, you're basically using all of the resources and access that your desktop has to be able to do the research. So it's a lot more powerful. Does that make sense? Did I explain that well?
Yeah, I think so. Like, look, the reason I'm not using formally Cowork, but
Mhm.
I'm using exactly kind of the same is because I'm using Hermes, which already has all these tools.
Yeah.
Uh, so this is a thing that really gets people very confused and for the right reasons, which
Yeah.
is you have all these AI services and they are kind of all coming in together with the same functionalities at some point. So
Yeah.
like, okay, you started with a chatbot kind of thing with the LLM, but now you connect your Google there, you connect your calendar, you connect your Gmail, you connect GitHub, you connect Vercel, and you connect your phone, and it's like, oh wow, so now it's like an entire kind of workspace, whatever. And they don't realize that they are all competing for the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And the reason I still like Hermes above all of this is mostly because, it kind of improves. And the harness
Mm.
is made in a way that, it's just very optimal. That doesn't mean that
Yeah.
using all of these things that you are sharing here is not useful. It actually is. And probably for desktop users that are not like tech savvies, they are better off with this rather than just going and installing Hermes. However, in my particular case, I'm a little bit more advanced and I want more flexibility, more power. And I'm very comfortable also working from the terminal. So, to
Mhm. Right.
each their own thing with which they feel more comfortable, I guess.
100%. And to anyone who doesn't know, basically the terminal is this right here. Um, do you need, or I guess you can still essentially use this as a chat bot, right? Do you need to know any coding to be able to use Hermes through the PowerShell or
No, but Trav, sorry to
okay.
interrupt you there. It's just that you're fading away, and it sounds like very robotic. So there might be a connection
Okay.
issue on your end.
Okay. That should I'm realizing that, there are a couple things that I'm restricted from doing when we're on live stream because of bandwidth. I think using the PowerShell is one of them. Can you hear me all right now?
Not really.
Not really. All right. Let's get rid of the screen share for a second here.
Oh,
Just for a sec here.
now it got fixed. So that was the thing.
Okay. Perfect. I'll be able to pull it up in a second. I think I just had too many things going on at once here. I am gonna close some applications here as well. Um, but I do want to say one thing real quick here is that I like ideally I would prefer to be able to use Hermes because I do find that the output is a lot better, is a lot cleaner, and there are less errors of it doesn't mess up as much, which is really important to me. Um, but the reason that I am using Claude Cowork right now is because I don't have the extra funds to pay for extra tokens because you can't use your subscription for Claude if you use
Yeah,
that in Hermes. You have to actually use the API tokens,
yeah.
and I'm all out. So
Yeah, no,
I'm
I think
stuck with
okay, so I
using
think this is
Claude
actually
for the time being.
a key message here, Trav, to share with our audience, which is we're talking about
Yes.
different setups and some limitations, and ultimately it's all because of the budget, right? Like if we're using all of this stuff, you don't want to be
Yes.
spending $300,000, whatever a month, right? You just want to use the thing, and we have already shared with that with 20 or perhaps two subscription of $20 more or less, you should be able to get most of the things you probably will do, unless you're a very heavy user for coding. Should be
Mhm.
fine, right? So we are applying that, and I acknowledge that, and I appreciate you for that.
So one thing about that though, this is the next part of this conversation that I need to bring up because this is I feel like I'm on the same level as a lot of people who are in our audience right now. And this was a huge pain point for me. Cl- I'm I'm sick and tired of Claude. I'm done with it. I was using Opus 5 for research yesterday, like simple research, because I couldn't use Sonnet. I couldn't. It was giving me two crap answers, and it was giving me like confidently wrong responses time and time again. And I was getting really frustrated about it. And I found that even with Opus 5, which is the second to best, most powerful what's the word? What are these things? Anyways, the most powerful thing that runs Claude, and it was still giving me crap responses. Essentially, I used my daily limit of tokens just and like 90 or maybe not 90, but 60% of the conversation that I was having with Claude was basically getting upset with it because it was continuing to mess up and not do what I was asking here. So,
Right.
all of that to say, what's really interesting now is that was the final straw. I am gonna be moving to ChatGPT and Codex now
Yeah, you
because
should.
I had so for 2 reasons, and this is an important takeaway for anyone who's, interested in using AI more in their lives, is that first things first, um the quality um, of Claude, like, from my personal experience, and I've been using it a lot, is in the toilet now. It's like it's gotten really, really bad, and it's really, really frustrating, and that's becoming very expensive and time consuming for me. And I have applied all of the things that we spoke about in our last live stream, which we spent a ton of time talking about, how to set up these guardrails so you're keeping your agent focused and you're keeping it efficient, and it still did not work for the task that I needed to do yesterday, which was just research and relatively simple research as well. And it still couldn't do it. So the second thing was I don't have a chat GPT subscription now, but I do still have chat GPT on my phone. I asked the chat GPT model that I had on my phone, which is not good because I don't have a subscription, and I could not believe how good the answer was. It was concise, it was straightforward, it was clear. There was no fluff in it at all that just burned up output tokens, and it was correct. Things that you think you should not have to be surprised about from getting replies back from your LLMs here, but I think that's just a testament to how kinda downhill Anthropic has gotten for me, and, so yeah, I the other thing, before I get too distracted here, is that you don't have to pay for extra API tokens to actually use ChatGPT with Hermes as well.
Yeah.
So both 2 massive, massive things here, and I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm sick and tired. Sorry, Anthropic, you need to do better. I'm not paying you guys a stupid amount of money every single month just for simple tasks here. So,
I mean,
yeah,
first of all, great take, Trav. I think you should clip that for the future, such that we share this again. Like we have shared this a bunch of times in the
yeah,
past, but I feel this message you really have to be repetitive because there
yeah,
is something seriously going wrong at Anthropic. I think they had like the lead in terms of AI capacity at the moment, but you have older users complaining. And when I see the reports, what I see is that there is some performance degradation here and there, things not
yeah,
working properly from their own sources, right? But this is more of a consistent issue. So I think there's probably something deeper here, and the only way in which we can push them to give us better results is just to stop using their service and clarifying why we are doing that in the most transparent, honest, and supportive way, right? Because
yeah,
honestly, I want these folks to keep sharing things that are competitive to OpenAI and the
oh,
rest
for
of
sure.
the frontier labs for sure. And I actually use Cloud Code a lot, but these days I only use it locally and for specific coding tasks, and that's it. It's just unusable for most things.
Which is crazy to say because I feel like not long ago it was phenomenal. Like it was actually really good, and things have just kind of unfortunately gone straight downhill here. So, yeah, no, I appreciate that take there, Quantic, and I will definitely be clipping that because I don't know. I'm a pretty happy guy, but it unleashed some unhappiness in Trav here. So, Anthropic, don't do it. Don't do it to us. So, real quick, I think we need to just take a quick pause and we need to reset the room here because I just checked out X, and let me pull up X here because I think it's important that we give our community here a good shout out. We got a lot of people tuning in now, a lot of people engaging with our live stream. We've got Southern
Amazing.
here, who actually I saw a comment from Southern, so huge shout out to you. This was one of the legends who really mentioned to me that they were sick and tired of kind of feeling stuck at that impression plateau. And then we've got a bunch of legends here from the Solana Guardian crew here who are reposting our live stream. We've got Certified Crews and we've got King Ladipo. Huge shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for your support here. And yeah, just a lot of people actually checking in here. We got Drip, Drip, you're a legend here. This is a pump. before a massive dump, in my opinion. We will start up only next year. And you know what? I agree with that. There was
Do
actually a
you have
really
the
good
data?
I don't I have some data that's actually important to see here. This is actually really kind of like gave me some caution here. And this is I'm sure that I spoke about this guy here before in previous spaces, live streams. He is hugely dialed into Solana. I wish that here, let's see here. Oh my goodness. I wish that this stupid emoji thing wasn't in the way, but here we go. Perfect. So here's kind of his take on where we're at. Anyways, sorry. Huge shout out to you there, Juicy. Absolute legend in the Solana space here. He knows his stuff. He's dialed in. He's been crushing it on X for many years now here. So here's his take. So same setup, 3 cycles. You saw this jump in token price in is this Bitcoin here? Let's just double check. This is yeah, this is Bitcoin, Bitcoin USDT here. So you basically saw this upthrust of price
Yeah,
immediately after like a long bear run here 3 times. You saw it in 2018, we saw it in 2022, and now again we are seeing it in 2026. So this pump is pretty good compared to the last two. So that's the first point. BTC, so Bitcoin can still go to 83,000 and match 40% return in the summer, which again, a lot of big events, a lot of hype happening around crypto right now and towards the end of summer. So I wouldn't be surprised in that as well. But look what came after those pumps every single year. The final low in Q4. And like you can
right.
see, here's the first pump. We got to the absolute rock bottom initially over this pump here. This was right around the FTX dump, but it continued price continued to go even lower. And now look where we're at now. We have this after a prolonged bear run. We have a massive upthrust, finally a glimmer of hope in the token price. And now likely we're going to continue to go back and have find our actual bottom sooner than later here. And his advice is to dollar cost average. That's the best strategy. And do not get too excited. I'm going to repeat that. Do not get too excited. Now is not the time to ape in your entire full port, because likely this could very well be the top. So dollar cost average is the way to go here. One last mention here from Juicy. In August 2022, there has been a 20% rally in just 1 week as of now, before the final low in Q4. So this is sorry, what's going on here? Yeah, just something to be aware of. You know, this is the first bit of real excitement that we've seen in the market, and
Right.
the market is designed to steal your liquidity. So let's just all chill, take a breath, still strategy time, and yeah, we'll see how things go. So, what are your thoughts on this, there, Quantic?
Um, I think we need to wait. That I'm very cautious right now. I've been adding the entire beer market. I have to be quite explicit about that, and I think at some point I'm gonna cash out. But right now I don't feel like it's the time at all. Probably what I'm expecting just by intuition, like this has no fundamental basis. It's like probably we are on a bull trap or we're soon to get into a bull trap and then we might see some extra pain before actually seeing some light. But I do want to be very cautious about all of this because, I want people to make the most out of it. None of this is financial advice, but, I'm prepared for more pain.
Yeah, you kind of always have to be prepared for pain, especially because what I think we've been around crypto around the same time. You probably a little bit longer than I have there, Quantic. I've been here since 2020. This is the second bear run, or yeah, about the second bear run. I think I caught the tail end of the very first one that in 2020 here. But you kind of get to know what these signs are like, what the patterns are like, and I don't know. This almost seems too good to be true. Although the one caveat to that is that there are a lot of things to be bullish about in crypto right now. I've mostly been paying attention to Solana, but things are happening. And the quality of projects that are coming out now, especially with AI being, so making things so accessible, and making most people able to build their applications of choice, there's some really good stuff out there. And actually, you know what might be a fun live stream for the future is we can talk about our favorite things being built on our favorite chains. What do you think of something like that?
Yeah, I think we can, and I would like to have haters of other chains as well, and bring them all together so we can hear some hot takes. I think it could be a nice, you know, a nice topic.
I love that. I love that. You know, one thing that we should probably reinitiate is get our agents to be able to automatically take the transcripts from our live screens again, and then we can be like, "Agent, remember that. Write that down so that we don't forget here, so we can make our future live stream about hot takes on what's being built in crypto right now here." So mental note on that as well here. But yeah, so again, resetting the room, reining myself in here. Quantic, we have 15 minutes left of our stream today. I'm good to take another extra couple of minutes here. So, we're not pressed for time or whatever. But I'm not sure if you are. What do you think we spend the last couple of minutes talking about, the state of growing on X right now, how to grow organically, and then some tips from AI that we've found.
Yeah, just checking in, drop. Unfortunately, I'm checking some messages, and I'll kind of have to drop in about 5 minutes, which is a pity because we are about to get into the most interesting piece. Um, how can we solve this? I mean, obviously, I could just drop and you go over the material, or perhaps we go at a high level now and we keep it short, and then next week we go in deeper detail. What are your thoughts? Here to support and be flexible.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you. So first of all, wait, how about we go about this way? Because you're doing well on X. And what's interesting is when we were talking about me monetizing, it was your strategy of not giving a crap about monetization that was right all along. So with your remaining few minutes, if you want to talk to us a little bit about your strategy, and then after you go, I can drop maybe two or three AI driven tips on, how to grow organically on X right now. We can go about that way. What do you
Right.
think about that?
Yeah, that works for me. And I want to clarify a few things because people sometimes get confused about my claims on AI and the use of AI and what I recommend. So it is a good opportunity. First of all, if you're a creator and you're not using AI in any way, you are 100% behind your competition. Your competition is using AI heavily. That doesn't mean
Yes.
your competition is using AI in a very stupid way. What is the most stupid way? Just put a bot with a bunch of AI slop posts and hope for the best. That's the worst thing. So if you're doing anything remotely like that, just stop doing that right away. It
Stop.
is
Stop
actually
it.
not good. Yeah, it is actually not good. It is against you. The algorithm notice that. People notice that. It's just a game over for that type of thing. Um,
Can I jump
second,
in real
yeah,
quick? Real
go
quick,
ahead.
just about that thing about getting punished from the algorithm, it's really true. I've noticed on the timeline, the X algorithm is like phenomenal at detecting AI slop. And I just saw this morning, I was about to drop an AI video, and I was just loading it onto my post, and a notification came up that says detecting AI content, which was really, really interesting. And then there's actual real punishment in in getting reported for AI slop, like undisclosed AI. But I'll get into that later on. That's all in the algorithm. So please carry on there, Quentin.
Yeah. And look, and here are the problems. I use AI for mostly grammar correction and feedback. That's my way of using AI in terms of like creating content at the most basic level. So actually, most of my posts are passed by an AI filter that I create on a local mini app, right? That it tells me, you know what, this is like odd or not. Mostly because I wanted to have like good grammar. I'm not a native English speaker, so it helps me. And I've been very strict about, you know what? I know that people like to write in whatever way on social media, and they think that's organic and authentic and great, and that's the way to do it. I think you can put a little bit of extra effort and just write things the right way for a consistent period of time. And then if you want to be more casual and break the laws of grammar, just go ahead and do it. But with a certain weight. right? In my case, if
Yeah.
you look at my post, the grammar should be correct. The punctuation generally should be correct and all of that. And I'm using AI for that. So now
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is that a bad thing? Because maybe I'm being perceived as AI made when it's not AI made. I do absolutely 100% of my posts, but it is AI filter, right?
Yeah.
I want to make that clear. I guess a question for you. My content, when you look at it, you can tell it's original and not AI, right?
100%. I never
Okay.
had any doubt at all that your content was original.
Okay.
Using AI for grammar checking, I just want to make this very, very clear. You will not get punished by the algorithm. Actually, the opposite is true. I'll have to double check this on how on if this is current, but I know at least 2 to 3 months ago, there was a mechanism in the algorithm that deboosted you if you had like really terrible spelling and really terrible
Yeah.
grammar in your content as well here. So you're
I mean,
actually encouraged to make it banger.
yeah, I think, you can make great content, original content, and the grammar can be okay-ish. And,
Yeah,
I think that's a plus, not something that goes against you or your brand. It all depends.
for sure.
Now, that being said, strategies for growth. The only thing that I do whenever I open my laptop, open X and click on post is writing something that I'm thinking it can bring value to someone. And that's the entire thing that I do. I don't think about if people really are going to like it or not, or if it's going to land well. I don't think at all if it's trending or not trending. I just think, okay, I have an audience to serve. What can I do for them? And that's it. And that's my entire playbook. And okay, then you have to distill that down to who is your audience, right? And I have, like, broadly speaking, a combination of several types of audience, which is not ideal. People always will suggest you to go with a very specific type of user or consumer or target audience and stick to that. And from my experience, posting consistently on X, I can say that's probably the right move. In my case, it's a little bit of a mix because, I work for Flare, I have worked for other projects, and when I work for these projects, I only do it when I'm very passionate and I believe in it. So I'm naturally going to post a lot about it, not because I want to bring extra promotion or whatever. It's just I think, I want to make a point clear, and I think people will find value on that. And in the case of Flare, it has been a tremendous hit, right? Because Flare has a strong community. It is still niche, right? It's not very well known or super massive, but it's strong enough such that if you share something good, if you share a unique take, they're gonna push it, right? And when they
Yep.
do that, the algo is gonna see it. And when the algo see it and you do that repeatedly, then you know you're up to something. So that would be my first recommendation. Find that kind of, thing that will make the engagement, the views, and the people to actually push for you, right? Push your piece of content. And by
Definitely.
pushing, I
Yeah.
mean uh, comments and I mean reshares. Those are the two things. If I don't get too many likes, that's fine. But I prefer people to reshare it and people to leave comments.
And I can just tell you right off the bat that from the perspective of the algorithm, that is the number one tip is build for the share, not for the like. And that's actually number one on my list that I created from leveraging my brand new AI agent to dive deep into the algorithm with the sole mission of learning how to break through in the impression plateau. And that was the number one thing that it said. So the single
Right,
highest weighted positive action in the algorithm is sharing via the copy link. So quote posting here. And you get
right.
40 times the algorithm boost as you do from a like. So that's huge.
Yeah, okay. And look, let me add this, which is the algorithm. The algorithm can change
Yeah.
anytime, and it has changed many times, and it has probably gone against and for this many times.
Yeah.
And the issue is, like, I don't think you can play that game. It's not sustainable. But
No.
look at what happened. The same, my same criteria, which is very basic stuff. It's not like rocket science or anything. It's just serve to an audience has been the main thing that is now driving the algorithm. And because of that, my content now is performing, very, very strongly these
Yeah,
days. Um, and if they change the algorithm such that it doesn't perform the way it used to do it, then I'm gonna be fine with it, right? So I pay the price of growing at my own pace because
mhm,
I just stick to the thing that I want in the way I want, and that is to serve a specific audience. In this case, it's mostly, crypto people, mostly focused on Flare, but also on my own work that I'm doing, that I'm just sharing it about what I do with AI, what we do at ShipKyle, what I do with Proofrails. And sometimes, the Fleur people perhaps do not care at all about ShipCal, but if they care about my work, at some point they're going to pay attention. And I have a strong
yeah,
evidence that that has been the case. And that's why
100%.
I think, building your own personal brand actually means that is that people connect with you, but you need to have a sort of entry point. In my case, my entry point has been related these past few months to Flare. I hope I never leave Flare, to be honest, but if in the future something happens, I know that I'm going to take with me the people that are committed with my work because I have given them something, right? And they know that
100%.
if I go to Solana or whatever, I'll just continue to follow the same guidelines, right? That's kind of my strategy.
I love it, man. 2 things I wanna or 1 thing I wanna highlight, 2 things I wanna share. If you need to go, by all means, feel
Yeah.
free here. Um, but I will say, first of all, congratulations on hitting 15K, by the way.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
massive, man. And then I love this post here that you mentioned. Call it what you want, but this is starting to feel like algorithmic servitude. I
Yeah.
couldn't agree more. That is a banger post, my man.
Man, I post a lot of content, and yesterday I stopped and look at the drop. Like most of
Yeah,
the content, it is certainly they're killing it, right? So if you
they
have a
are.
good piece of content and it doesn't go massively viral, expect
Yep,
it to be killed within 1 or 2 hours, which sucks.
it
But
does.
this is the thing that I was saying, that it is going to change. Always is going to change. Before it wasn't like that. Now it
Yeah.
is. Probably they're gonna change it again, but whatever.
Right? And that's another really frustrating thing is that there's a new mechanism in the algorithm that where now you're incentivized to not post a crazy amount a day. So like the
Oh,
first
I don't follow that rule.
yeah, no, good, nor should you. And that's a ridiculous thing. Cause I see a lot of people breaking through that almost who post like 20, 30, 40 times a day.
Yeah.
And yeah, whatever. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, volume always works. That's something to keep in mind. Anyway, Trav, I do have to go, and I'm so sorry about it. It's been a wonderful live stream. You will close it up with a banger, I'm sure.
I will do my best, my friend. I will absolutely do my best. Try to drop some value here. Have a good rest of your day as well, there, Quantic. And yeah, man, hope your finger feels better.
Yeah, I'll see you in the
Yes.
chats. And intern, please make sure to support Trav behind the scenes with all the reshares, comments, and all that. We love you.
Love it. Appreciate you guys. Awesome. See you, man.
Yep.
One thing I will say is if intern, if you're watching here, I do not have Telegram open because I don't want my computer to blow up. Just tons of technical difficulties today. But you know what? That's okay. We will persevere. Feel like this is a nice intimate conversation now. It's been a while since it's just been me and you guys. So yes, guys, thanks for joining me here. We've had a really good, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh man, now that Quantic is gone, I'm fumbling on my words here. Really good set of impressions here. We are currently streaming this live stream here from the Ship Guild's profile, but then also my own profile. And usually the Ship Guild profile outperforms mine by like 10 to 1. Right now, we're neck and neck. We've got about 70 from the Ship Guild um, profile, and then we've got over 50 from my own personal account. So, you guys who are dialing into my personal account, I appreciate the heck out of you. And then, of course, to our OG community on our Ship Guild account, thank you guys so much for being here. Just without you guys, you guys make these Fridays every single week so special. And I am about to get very corny, so I'm going to stop that conversation. Let's get back into the value here before we wrap it up. So let's pull up a screen share here once again. I'm going to see if I can make sure that you guys see this without. There we go. Now that stupid emoji screen is not going to be in the way. So I'm just going to double check, make sure that you can see this. Perfect. So essentially, I used Claude Cowork to dive into the algorithm, to dive into trusted resources, to dive into people who are actually creating on the timeline well and have the receipts to prove it, and got him to return 10 top tips to break through the impression ceiling. So basically, let's set the stage here a little bit for this. So one of the things that I hear the most from people on the timeline who've been coming out here every single day, putting their heart and soul into their content, really trying hard to make quality, value packed stuff here every single day, and I feel this as well. You get stuck. You can't seem to break through 300 views or 300 impressions per post, and that's really frustrating, especially when you come here and you see such slop from other accounts getting tens of thousands of views effortlessly. Now, the trick isn't to just post slop. I fully believe that that is not the solution for anyone. Because if you're like me and you're really passionate about the work that you're doing, you're really passionate about building community where you guys can actually have an exchange of valuable information, ideas, alpha, all that stuff. Slop is just not going to cut it. All you're going to do is you're going to attract people to you who want to farm your impressions, who want to farm your what's the word that I'm looking for? Your attention. And that is not a sustainable thing for people who are here for the long run. Plus that's exhausting, man. I don't know. I can't be fake. And for me, that's being fake here. So what I'm gonna do for the remainder of this live stream is I want to share a few of the tips that the algorithm share that my agent shared with me. Now, first, before I do that, I want to share a couple of thoughts here with you guys on things that I find are working and that are really important here. Now, we'll dive more into this next week, where we're gonna dedicate a lot more time to talking about this and bring that stuff to life with actual stories and experiences and all of that here. But for now, I just want to share that really a huge part of this is just to be consistent, not get too wrapped up into what the algorithm is doing. I think Quantic really just made this apparent. Like if the very basic thing that you can do is to come here and then share what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, share what you are so passionate about, and do it like, you essentially kinda just follow the rules of doing that, kind of staying in your lane and being focused on this one particular thing. If you can write it and express it in a creative and interesting way, and that's a really important one. You actually wanna create content that is interesting for your reader to look at and for them to be able to relate to. And that's an art in and of itself, which we'll actually cover on how to do that with AI. Probably not today, but in our next live stream here. Then you don't really have to worry about the rest of the rules because the algorithm is constantly changing. And if you can just stick to that in over years, it's going to work out. So I can pretty much guarantee that to you. But for the benefit of the promise of talking exactly how what the rules are, and I think it's very important to be aware of what the rules are. And for me, I enjoy adapting to the algorithm and trying to really leverage, how to boost your impressions, like really from paying attention to what's going on. It can work really well for you as well here. So let's go over maybe three of them here. So the first one here, like we spoke about earlier, is build your content for the send, not the like. Now, what does this mean? It means you create your content with the goal in mind of having it be shared, what like most likely by a repost here. And now, like I said earlier, this is the single highest weighted positive action in the algorithm right now is sharing their post from a copy link, which is it's at 20 right now, which is the score. So you get a 20x boost for your content here and 40 times the amount of a like, which is huge. A DM share is 5, which is nice because it's in the positive. And the kind of how you can go about doing this and how to leverage this with AI. I actually haven't read this yet, so I'd be curious. I have my own ways of doing this, but we'll get into that next week here. So feed a draft to Claude or Grok with the weight table and one instruction. It says, name the person who would DM this to someone else and who they would send it to. If you cannot, say so and tell me what is missing. Vague answers mean vague posts. That's actually really interesting, and I'm really excited to share that. And I think, I think that's going to be a fun one to test. So if you guys actually want to test this metric and test this prompt on, how to make your content more share worthy, you feel free to steal this. And maybe what I can do, if you guys do want this, drop it in the comments below, and I will share this exact prompt with you so you can give it a shot. Let's go to the second one. This one is an interesting one because this is based off of a very recent change in the algorithm, and it's the idea of mutuals here. So I just want to quickly check to see if anyone is dropping comments and nothing recent. Okay, that's totally cool here. So this one's really interesting. So let's read this together here. So make 50 real mutuals because mutual replies score 4x. So this is really interesting. So when you and the viewer follow each other, the reply weight goes from 5 to 20. So that's a massive boost. That's actually the biggest single conditional boost in the algorithm. And it's almost entirely absent from public X advice. So this is brilliant. This is something that you don't really see much being talked about, but this can boost your impressions 4x if you actually engage back and forth with mutuals on your post here. Now, I'll tell you this for sure. You can boost that even more if all of this happens within the 30 minutes of your post. So remember that as well. That's like adding jet fuel to your content is so far we've covered. If you can get somebody to repost your content, that will boost it a metric crap ton. And then if you can have organic quality engagements with mutuals on your content, especially within the first 30 minutes, and there's a good back and forth, that will also boost your views and impressions here. This is actually, man, you know what? I am starting to think about taking back what I said about Anthropic and what I said about taking back from Claude, because this is banger alpha here so far here. So the play is 50 to 100 genuine mutuals in your niche who actually reply to you, not follow back farm. The distinction matters legally as well as mechanically. X's July 2026 enforcement removes accounts from the revenue program for soliciting engagement 3 times. And Grok's spam classifier is looking for exactly the reciprocal ring pattern. The mechanic rewards relationships, it punishes rings. So this is actually something at the beginning of this document that was really, really interesting here is you want, like, you can see here, this is the list of things that will boost your content, and this is the list of things that will deboost your content. Now, here's the key takeaway is the single best thing that will boost your content will bring it to a score of 20, and that's of course sharing via the copy link. The thing that will the single highest thing that will deboost your content is if it's reported, and then this will deboost it by 234. So you can see the difference. So if anything, you want to prioritize not getting any of these things to happen because the negative effect that it will have on your content is 10 times worse than the best possible thing that you can do to get it boosted here. So really, really important on that here. Now, let's maybe finish this off by taking a look at how you can use AI to make this second point happen here. Let's read this together. Have an agent read the last 200 replies you received, cluster the repliers, and rank who is closest to becoming a real mutual, then go be a person with those 20 accounts for a month and see what happens. This is awesome. Now, one other thing to consider about this is is I've been playing and experimenting with a prompt that I could use for Grok and with Claude to actually figure out a list of high value creators on X that you can engage with every single day to kind of boost your to help boost your organic growth as well and grow your following and grow the impressions on your account. I'm almost ready to release this. I just need to do a little bit more testing to make sure that it's not only going to work for me, but it'll work for you as well. But I'm really, really close here. So definitely stay tuned for that as well. Well, this last one I'll tease here, and you guys can read it on the screen here if you want to get ahead, but it's cut your posting volume or space it out. This one I'm very not stoked about. I think this is super lame of X to do this because on one hand, they're pushing you to actually create content. On the other hand, they're now really deboosting your content if you're posting more than 5 or 6 times a day, which I think is absurd here. So author diversity decay is per feed session, not per day. So that's interesting here. So 6 posts in an hour mean posts go through six are worth 50%, 25, 25, 25, 25 to the same readers. 3 to 5 well spaced originals beats 12 clustered ones every time. Okay. So that's an interesting one. Maybe I misjudged that one a little bit because that does make sense now that I've actually read it. But I think we're going to get into that a little bit more next week. For today, we're going to wrap it up here. But I'm really excited. I think we did cover a lot of really valuable stuff here. So, for anyone who came to this live stream today with hopes of learning how to actually break through that impression barrier, let me know what you guys think of all this stuff. Because I don't know, for me, I was actually surprised by a lot of things here. And I'm excited to try this out. And I'm curious to know how this is going to work for you as well. So, let me know. Drop a comment. My DMs are always open to community members here. I've started a thing where I'm trying to take some calls with our community members and trying just to get to know you guys better here. So I'm just going slowly at that because there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. I want to make sure that I respect everyone's time and my own here. So yeah, just know that I'm fired up about you guys. I'm excited to keep growing on this together. And yeah, we'll wrap it up today. So with that, thank you guys so much for taking the time to be here with us today. Appreciate every single one of you. Definitely join us next week for our conversation about all of this. We're going to continue it. We're going to give you more practical advice on how to actually grow organically on X, especially with the algorithm the way that it is, and how to use AI to really make all of this a hell of a lot more efficient and more effective. And yeah, give us a follow, Ship Guild on X, and all of our other socials as well. My name is Trav.